Listening to you, I've been having a think this morning about how I use social media because I knew I was going to be talking with you about it, because a University of Copenhagen study suggests that excessive use of social media, or particular types of use of social media, can create harmful feelings. Depression, even low self-esteem, feelings of envy that lead to low self-esteem. And I'm looking at my little box on my phone that says social media, and I'm on Twitter quite a lot actually, Instagram a fair bit, Pinterest a little bit, WhatsApp now and then, Periscope not at all, Bitmoji, new discovery, love it, and that's about it. I've got Snapchat and Boomerang, but I've no idea how to use them. What about you? Are you in control of your social media? Do you believe spending too much time on social media, can lead to low self-esteem, or worse still, actual depression? Have you had to make a decision yourself, or perhaps been asked by your partner to make a decision about your use of social media because you seem to be in the world of online, engaging online more than you engage offline in your actual physical life? Let me know. 0345 6060 973 is the number. You can text 84850 or tweet at LBC. Also coming up, what does Alex Salmon make of being called Mad Alex by Mad Donald Trump, frankly? We'll find out from the man himself at 2:30. Let me tell you a little bit more about this University of Copenhagen study. It suggests that excessive use of the kinds of social media I've just mentioned, it can have a negative impact on you. It depends on what you're using it for. I use Twitter a lot as a research tool, reading articles, finding out what people are saying about things, and giving them consideration, particularly when I come on the radio to talk with you. I use it for fun as well, a bit. Instagram's largely fun, but not exclusively, and I don't use it that much. And that is about it, really, in terms of day to day. Something I would use every day is definitely Twitter, and increasingly a bit of Instagram as well. But it depends what you're looking at when you're on Twitter or Facebook or whichever one you happen to use. It must depend on what you're looking at and what you're looking for, because like I say, a little bit of fun, a little bit of social stuff on Twitter for me, and a lot of reading and research and magazine articles, newspaper articles and the like, and sharing those kinds of things as well. What about you? Did you find that you were lurking, as this study refers to, the idea that you're on social media to look at the lives of others and compare yours to it? That's a slippery slope. I mean, it doesn't take a brain surgeon, does it, to realise that is a slippery slope, that you're looking at other people's lives all the time. Did you have to take control of your social media? 0345 6060 973 is the number. You can text 84850 or tweet at LBC. Danny Bowman joins me, a mental health spokesperson at Parliament Street. Now, Danny, good afternoon to you, Danny.
Good afternoon.
Hi. Now, we've spoken before, and you told me about a period of time when you were taking 200 selfies a day, and it led to body dysmorphia and total dissatisfaction with yourself. What did you do about that?
Well, I got fantastic help from the Maudsley Hospital in London. They encouraged me to get rid of my social media and take it away from me for a certain period of time. And that helped a lot. But then I introduced it slowly but surely, but in a much more positive way.
But the advice you were given was stop.
The advice I was given was, if I can't do it in a sort of positive way, then I should stop, yes.
And was it the selfie thing that was the biggest thing?
Definitely. I mean, I think the selfie phenomenon, along with a lot of other phenomena, has had a massive impact on especially young people and people's mental health. So it was definitely selfies for me, and I think for a lot of other people.
So what do you think is happening then when a selfie goes from being just a bit of fun between friends, saying, oh, look where we are, here's a selfie of us at the whatever, to being an obsession? When did were you aware it was becoming too much of an obsession for you?
Not really, actually, and I think that's one of the scary things. I think because it's such a big part of our sort of society now, the idea of the selfie culture, people don't realize that taking 50, 60, 70 selfies a day is actually a bad thing. And actually, a lot of people I've spoken to, it's actually leading to body image issues such as anorexia, bulimia, and body dysmorphic disorder.
And just before I move on from selfies and talk about other aspects of social media, were you taking them just to look at yourself and assess yourself, which is excruciating enough, I suppose, or were you sending it to other people, sending it out online so anybody could see it? What were you doing with all these selfies?
So what I did is I started by having them online, posting them online, and unfortunately I didn't get the comments I wanted. I got a lot of sort of mean, horrible comments, which made me feel quite bad. So I then withdrew from posting them on social media, and then took 200 selfies a day to sort of examine every particular part of myself, which, as you said before, is excruciating. It really is a very, very difficult thing to do.
Why did you do it? Do you know?
I did it because I was trying to look in for ways in which I could improve my appearance. But unfortunately for me, it was like everything was wrong. I started zooming in on small megapixels of a little red spot or a little thing, and it was sort of amplified for me through this idea of social media and through my phone.
And how often were you looking at other people and other people's lives and other people's experiences and trying to measure yours against that?
A lot of the time. And I think this is one of the biggest problems. I'm glad you mentioned this because it's one of the biggest problems with social media. People are portraying their sort of lives online in such a way that people are looking at it and thinking, I need to be like that, or I need to live up to that, because all of us are trying to portray this sort of false perfection-like appearance online, which you wouldn't be able to do in daily life.
Well, not all of us are. I mean, there are plenty of, just in terms of the people I follow on Twitter, for example, there are plenty of particularly women that I know on Twitter who make a point of not doing that. They'll send a warts and all photo as just as much as they'd send a picture of them at the latest whatever opening of an envelope, or and it's important to send both, isn't it? If you're going to send them at all, it's important that you send both.
Exactly, and I think it's women like that and men like that who are going to be the saving grace for a lot of people who actually do that, and that's very brave. But unfortunately, there is a lot of people who don't do that.
And how do you use social media now, Danny? Now that you've changed from your original type of use?
I use it in a positive way to promote the great work that Parliament Street are doing on mental health and on social media, and really just promote that and try and help people.
But just describe that to me. So do you not, for example, look at if somebody says, oh, if somebody has a Twitter feed or a Facebook page that's all about my great life, look at me at this party, look at me with these people, do you ignore that, or do you still see it and get a little frisson of envy sometimes?
I mean, obviously, when you see certain things that you look at it. I'm only human, but I think in many ways, I'm sort of, because of my experience and because of what I've been through and because of the sort of depths it's brought me to. I really try not to look too much and try and just stick to what I'm doing and stick to what Parliament Street's doing and keep moving forward.
And when you wake up in the morning, how soon before you have a smartphone in your hand?
I mean, it varies, probably about 15, 20 minutes.
And what are you looking for?
Normally checking emails, looking at the latest news and I have to admit, checking my Twitter, checking my Facebook, to see what's going on. But normally it's just to follow the news.
Which is, well, I say it's fine. That's because that's what I do. I look for the news. But you could argue that, unless it's a professional thing, you don't really need to know everything that's going on all over the world, do you, at a given time? What's interesting about the emails, even just something as simple as checking emails, which I think a lot of people, even people who don't use social media, will be quickly having a look at their emails. Would you agree, Danny, that in a way allows other people to set your agenda for the day rather than you taking at least an hour in the morning, if you have the time, or half an hour at least, for just to take a breath and you set the agenda, you set the tone for your day, not other people?
I mean, I guess it's all about when you look at them emails and you choose. It's all down to you at the end of the day. You've got to take responsibility of when you look at them emails and when you decide to do it. But every email I've got, I've always sort of taken it in and spent, done it when I can do it instead of actually letting it sort of set my agenda.
Do you think you were in danger of losing yourself in social media and not engaging with the world, the physical world that you live in?
Definitely. I mean, my story sort of is a great example of that, of where you can sort of lose yourself in social media. And I think especially, I mean, you're seeing this idea of sort of Instagram stars and people who are actually literally working through social media. You can lose yourself and it can lead to I want to stress it can lead to certain mental health difficulties.
Thank you for talking to us again, Danny. Always good to talk to you. Danny Bowman, mental health spokesperson at Parliament Street. Nick has called from Cheam, and I'm glad you've called, Nick, because this is one of the aspects of social media I had in mind, where partners are ignored because their loved one is looking at everything else except them.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, I can attest to that. So like we're sitting at the phone watching telly, and she's on the phone. I said, what are we doing? No, I'm just looking at Facebook. Oh, all right, fair enough. Anyway, it goes on and on and on. And then finally go to bed and watch a bit of TV, and she's on the phone again. And we probably get married at some point, and I said to her, I can change my suit to an iPhone suit so that she'll probably feel more comfortable when we get married,
Oh, what did she say to that?
She just laughs. Oh, don't be so moany, because I'm a little bit older than her anyway, so she thinks I'm in the moaning.
Don't stand for that, Nick.
So,
don't stand for that.
Absolutely.
The thing is, when she's on Facebook, inevitably on Facebook, what you're looking at is, I don't use it myself, but I know from other people, it's pictures from parties, pictures from holiday, pictures from
absolutely.
Look who we're with. It means mentally she's not with you, doesn't it?
That's right, yeah. And when we go on holiday and everything, she's obviously posted where we are, which is all nice and everything. But like you say, she posts a lot of family photos. We've got a very close-knit, large family, so obviously a lot of photos go on there. But it just seems like she's living on the bloody thing. It's a nightmare. It's a nightmare sometimes.
Oh, does it hurt your feelings? It sounds like it does.
It did to start with, to be quite honest. But I know it's just kind of, one of those things she does. So obviously, if I sit on a laptop watching something on there with my headphones, she gives, nudging me, oh, you watch this, you're going to watch this. I say, no, well, it's not really my sort of thing, so I'm watching what I like to watch, and you can watch what you want to watch,
Well, you tell her this evening that when she's watching Facebook that you've been on the radio, one in the eye.
I will do. Thanks very much.
All right, Nick, thank you. Nick in Cheam. Social media. Can spending too much time, in your experience, or watching someone else, either a child or a partner who lives with you, spending too much time on social media, is it leading, in their case, in your case perhaps, to low self-esteem or to depression or just a confusion really between what your time is really for? 0345 6060 973 is the number. You can text 84850 or tweet at LBC. And have you experienced what Nick has as well? Almost an obsession with social media in your partner. Your calls coming up and your stories as well. And also after 2:30, Donald Trump calls him Mad Alex. We'll stick with Alex Salmond later on. He'll join me to have a chat about what Donald Trump has been saying about him. He joins me just after 2:30. The time is now 2:16.